Profoundly, we are all aware that we have untapped potential inside us. Regret often stems from the realization that we could have handled situations better. We lose our temper with our children over trivial matters and then agonize over it for days. We procrastinate on a school project and end up working on it all night with nothing but anxiety. These are not new behaviors. Throughout history, humans have procrastinated, obsessed over things beyond their control, and given in to unproductive emotions. During this time of year, many of us become reflective and assess how our year has gone and how we have or haven't changed. We consider what we could have done differently and make resolutions. We pledge to quit smoking or start exercising. However, as the new year begins, we quickly revert to our old ways at the first sign of difficulty, continuing to experience disappointment. Fulfilling these resolutions is not easy, but it is necessary. The Stoics understood this and consistently reminded themselves to act with virtue. Marcus Aurelius' meditations were originally titled Ta eis autem, or to himself. Self-improvement is an ongoing practice, and opportunities to practice it are everywhere. Therefore, it is essential not to waste these opportunities. With this in mind, here are several Stoic practices that can benefit us all, regardless of our backgrounds or circumstances. As Epictetus said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" Seek role models and inspiration. Invoke the characteristics of the people you admire most and adopt their manners, speech, and behavior as your own. There is nothing false in this. We all carry the seeds of greatness within us, but we need an image as a point of focus in order for them to sprout. Epictetus, The Art of Living. Marcus Aurelius began his meditations with gratitude to those who shaped his character, acknowledging that he did not instinctively know all he needed to become his best self. He highlighted the influence of his grandfather in instilling good morals and the government of my temper, and his mother in teaching piety and beneficence and abstinence, not only from evil deeds, but even from evil thoughts. While not all of us have the privilege of being personally surrounded by inspiring individuals, we live in an era where the wisdom of great figures is readily accessible. We merely need to seek them out and learn about living with justice, purpose, strength, courage, and joy. For insights on maintaining composure under pressure, turn to the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. When facing adversity, consider what he would do and strive to respond accordingly. For modern examples of mental toughness, explore figures like David Goggins. By emulating these figures, we practice what we advocate and extend support to others in need. Striving to embody the positive examples in our lives, we ourselves become sources of inspiration to others. The world will always benefit from more positive role models. Read regularly, give yourself time to learn something new and good, and cease to be whirled around. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. The most effective way to delve into the lives of those we aspire to emulate is through reading. It stands as the quickest route to self-improvement, with a plethora of knowledge at our fingertips, spanning millennia and uncovering human experiences across the ages. This vast repository of wisdom should serve as a reminder of our fleeting existence, urging us not to squander the precious time we have on this earth. With such an abundant wealth of knowledge laid bare before us, there is no excuse not to embrace its potential. Seneca, in a letter to his friend Lucilius, advised to immerse oneself among writers of unassailable genius, seeking nourishment that will leave a lasting impact. The emphasis is on reading that is not aimless, but purposeful, engaging with authors and books of substance, avoiding the pitfalls of frivolous and scattered pursuits. In today's fast-paced world, the allure of reading may wane as we grapple with the demands of life, the pressures of work, family, and education. Despite these pressing concerns, is it not enticing to discover how to navigate through them with greater ease? The Stoic philosophy, with a rich history spanning over 2 millennia, offers a foundation of knowledge accessible through a multitude of channels, including digital books, audiobooks, and online articles. Even a brief pause in our daily routine, like waiting in line or commuting, provides an opportunity to absorb vital information. And if you find yourself unsure of where to begin, practical philosophy books, particularly those on Stoicism, serve as excellent starting points. Nevertheless, reading alone is futile if we do not translate the knowledge gained into action. Life's relentless pace calls for a proactive approach, making room for continual growth and assimilation of our learning into our daily lives. Apply what you learn. You say, "Men cannot admire me for the sharpness of my wits." So be it. But there are many other things of which you cannot say, "I am not formed for them by nature." Show those qualities, then, that are altogether in your power: sincerity, gravity, endurance of labor, aversion to pleasure, contentment with your portion and with a simple life, benevolence, frankness, no love of superfluity, freedom from trifling magnanimity. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. The aim of immersing ourselves in Stoic philosophy is to enhance every aspect of our lives. Stoicism is, without a doubt, one of the most pragmatic of philosophies. Rather than delving into complex theories about the world, it focuses on helping us overcome destructive emotions and take action on what is within our control. Its purpose is to cultivate tranquility under pressure and to concentrate on our ideals above all else. However, there is no point in reading Seneca's letters if we do not promptly apply their teachings to our own lives. In the above quote, Marcus Aurelius noted that there are few things we must practice to become the best version of ourselves. While these things can be learned through theory, it is only through practical experience that we fully assimilate them. You do not fully grasp the power of releasing your anger until you do so in the most challenging situations, witnessing the peace it brings. Each of these experiences strengthens and prepares you to endure the inevitable future trials. That's why the philosophers warn us not to be satisfied with mere learning, but to add practice and then training. For as time passes, we forget what we learned and end up doing the opposite, and hold opinions the opposite of what we should. Epictetus. Books are essential to prevent us from being aimless, unable to learn from experience, and thus repeating the same mistakes. They serve as a source of guidance when we need counsel, reminding us how to manage anger and encouraging us to embrace challenges instead of becoming too emotional and exacerbating them. Embracing challenges. The obstacle is the way. These words from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations exemplify a profound truth. Our responses to adversity shape our destinies more than the challenges themselves. Consider the individuals you admire most deeply. They are often those who have triumphed over immense hardship, emerging stronger and wiser. Instead of recoiling from difficult circumstances, seize them as opportunities for growth. Each ordeal surmounted fortifies your resilience. As Seneca wisely observed, there is no one more unfortunate than the man who has never been unfortunate, for it has never been in his power to try himself. The endurance athlete David Goggins shares a similar insight, highlighting the tendency to set ambitious goals in comfortable environments, only to abandon them at the first hint of hardship. The real test lies in keeping the promises we make to ourselves when challenges arise. Perhaps you resolve to maintain composure in moments of anger. The true test comes when a circumstance triggers that emotion. These minor tribulations are the threads that weave the fabric of our lives, and our reactions to them reveal our character. If we yield to impatience over a traffic delay, guarding our equanimity during pivotal moments becomes more challenging. It is reassuring to acknowledge that such everyday trials are universal. Even Marcus Aurelius, an individual of incomprehensible power, confronted difficulties in his daily life. He recognized the natural ephemeralness of all distress and the inevitability of its conclusion. Maya Angelou expressed this truth beautifully when she said, Every storm runs out of rain. Consistently reminding ourselves of this concept nurtures gratitude for the lessons that seamlessly intertwine with every moment. In essence, true growth is cultivated through the mindful embracing, rather than avoidance, of challenges. Doing so enables us to recognize the wisdom bestowed by adversity, fostering gratitude for each experience. Guard your time. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca, on the shortness of life. One of the most distressing aspects of not sticking to our resolutions is the piling regret as the years pass by. Eventually, we reach the end of our lives and realize how much time we squandered, how much we hindered ourselves. We recognize all the moments we allowed anger to overcome us when we had the power to resist, and how this negatively impacted our lives. By making a pledge to embrace Stoicism, we ensure that when our time is up, we are proud of how we utilized the portion of time granted to us. Using your time wisely isn't just about keeping busy all the time. It's about making the most of every moment as it arrives. It's about seizing each moment as an opportunity to practice mindfulness and gratitude. And in doing so, we will reach the end of our lives knowing that we spent as little time as possible being negative or pessimistic about our circumstances. Our time wasn't spent mindlessly scrolling through social media or giving in to our immediate desires for instant gratification. It was spent doing meaningful work, improving ourselves, and contributing to our communities. Making the most of your time means recognizing what you can control and taking action to the best of your ability. It means leaving no task unfinished. And by doing so, we can reach the end of our lives, not with regret, but with gratitude for the opportunities we seized. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, so pass through this little space of time conformably to nature, and end your journey in contentment, just as an olive falls off when it is ripe, blessing nature that produced it, and thanking the tree on which it grew. Embrace virtue. It's your responsibility to act with humility and consistently adhere to your moral principles. Epictetus, the art of living. The Stoics believed that our potential to become our finest selves is in direct correlation to how frequently we practice the four fundamental pillars of virtue: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. By making the pursuit of wisdom a top priority in 2020, we can be confident that regardless of what happens, we'll be able to learn from every experience. By embodying courage, we'll confront every situation with resilience, never succumbing to the difficulty. By exercising temperance, we'll restrain ourselves from excess and control our emotions when it matters most. And through practicing justice, we'll know that regardless of the outcome, we always endeavored to do the right thing. Not every step will be easy, but that's not the point. Regularly practicing these virtues is a surefire pathway to self-improvement and to becoming our best selves. So, consciously keep these virtues in mind whenever life becomes challenging or your resolutions are put to the test in the upcoming year. Embrace forgiveness. Throughout life, we will inevitably encounter people who challenge us. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius understood this all too well. Dealing with impostors and deceivers was part of his role, and it wasn't always easy to resist the urge for revenge. In such times, he reminded himself that the best retaliation was to not be like that. He knew that dwelling on the wrongdoings of others would hinder his quest to become his best self. Giving in to anger would only diminish him to their level. Furthermore, he understood that the inability to forgive these individuals for relatively inconsequential matters would make it much harder to forgive himself when he made mistakes. It's natural for us to dwell on the wrongs done to us and the wrongs we've done. This obstructs our progress. If we don't forgive those who have wronged us, we risk tainting all future interactions with the scars of their transgressions. By not forgiving ourselves, we prevent our own growth and potential. Forgiveness enables us to let go of the past, and only by releasing the past can we free ourselves from its hold and become our best selves.